Good day, viewers, and welcome to another episode of Government and Public Service Reports on your favorite Atlantic television network in the great city of Port Harcourt. Here we bring you the news, events, and stories abound in the state system. ATN's appetite for in-depth, unbiased, and factual reportage is the driving principle for this program in order to bring activities of government to the doorstep of the people. We'll go through the highlights of today's reports and the headlines. Court clash claims one life. Navy arrests suspects over oil theft. Government withdraws suits against EFCC. And in Oyo State, government approves 80,000 naira minimum wage. We'll take a short break and when we return, we'll go straight to the rest of the stories. Stay with us. Welcome back. Now to the details in full. Government on Wednesday shot a member of the vigilante group in Obele, a community in Emoha local government area in River State. The deceased, whose name is not given, is a member of the Ogbaebe Mandoni local government area Peace and Advisory Committee. The gunmen, suspected to be cultists, also set ablaze a house of a former councillor. 4 people sustained gunshot injuries in the attack. SP Grace Ngekoko, the police spokesperson in the state, confirmed the incident to newsmen, saying that the police were investigating the incident. She said, "Yes, I can confirm that 1 person was killed and a house destroyed." Mr. Ngekoko, the superintendent of the police, said, adding that she was yet to be briefed on the details of the 4 injured victims. One of the survivors, simply identified as Eze, told reporters on Thursday how he and his brother escaped the shootings. Mr. Eze said they heard the sound of motorcycles near their house and gunshots from the attackers, who accused them of being informants to the police. He said the gunmen opened fire on them. Quoting him, I stood up to check who they were, and I saw boys walking for a man called Naked with guns. I immediately told my brother to run. As we fled, they shot at us. We were 4 in total, and I haven't seen my brother since. We've been calling around, but no one has seen him. They accused us of giving information to security agencies. That was the last thing I heard before I fled, Mr. Eze said. During the attack, the gunmen destroyed the house of former councillor in the state, Chigozie Woka, who hails from Obele. The former lawmaker also accused Naked of being behind the attack on his house over his perceived cooperation with security agencies. Mr. Walker blamed Naked for the crisis in the community. He said he received a call on Sunday that Naked and some members of the Peace and Advisory Committee of the local councils had raided his house and set it on fire. He's not even from Obele. He comes to seek refuge. He called me recently accusing me of working with security agencies to chase him out, Mr. Walker said. He came to my house with his boys and they destroyed everything. What crime did I commit? What? That I am working with security agencies, he said. The acting youth chairperson of Omoba in Iba, Acho, Ogberuvu, however, absolved Naked of responsibility in the shooting and accused the former lawmaker of sponsoring cultists to attack the man named Naked. Youth leader said that Naked is a member of the Peace and Advisory Committee and could not have been involved in the killings of fellow operatives. A different story. Catholic Diocese of Auchi has declared the release of Reverend Father Thomas Oyode from his abductors. The Director of Communications for the diocese, Reverend Father Peter Egelewu, in a statement, said Oyode was freed at approximately 7 p.m. on Wednesday, the 6th of November 2024, in a village near Ajaokuta, Kogi State. This is coming after Oyode was kidnapped on 27 October 2024 when gunmen attacked the Immaculate Conception Minor Seminary in Ihakbodi, Egenegbo, Etsako East, local government area of Edo State, while the priests and seminarians were observing their evening prayers and benediction. The bishop also takes this opportunity to call on government at all levels to address the deteriorating security situation in Edo North Senatorial District and Edo State, adding that proactive measures must be taken to ensure people can return to their normal lives in their homes, on their farms, and while traveling. Nigerian Naval Base Forward Operating Base, Ibaka, has arrested 3 suspected oil thieves carrying a boat containing crude oil worth 32 million naira in Akwa Ibom State. The commanding officer of the base, Captain Uche Aneke, who disclosed this while handing over the suspects and seized items to the EFCC, Akwa Ibom Command on Thursday at Ibaka, said the suspects were arrested following an intelligence report about the activities of suspected criminals involved in crude oil theft within the Navy's area of operations. He warned individuals or groups planning to carry out any form of criminality in Nigerian waters or smuggling illegal consignment into or out of Nigerian waters to desist immediately. Aneke reaffirmed the Navy's commitment to combating maritime crimes in the state under the leadership of the Chief of Naval Staff, Vice Admiral Emmanuel Ogala. We now move on to Enugu State. The state government has withdrawn from the suit filed by some states in the federation contesting the laws that established the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, as well as the Nigerian Financial Intelligence Unit guidelines, which is before the Supreme Court. The Kogi state government initially filed the suit against the EFCC in 2023, with 18 other states, including Enugu State, later joining the suit, and the state, which is the 6th plaintiff in the suit, became the 6th state to withdraw from the suit. The first 3 states that withdrew being Anambra 9th plaintiff, Adamawa 16th plaintiff, and Ebonyi State being the 18th, while 3 other states withdrew their suits before the 7-member panel of justices of the Apex Court in October 22, the day of the hearing. The Supreme Court, after hearing on October 22, reserved judgment in the suit to a date that would communicate to the plaintiffs, while the Enugu State Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice, King Flude, in an application addressed to the Supreme Court, said the decision of the state to discontinue the suit was a welcome development. The plaintiffs also claimed that when bringing a convention into Nigerian law, the provisions of Section 12 must be complied with, while the Constitution requires that a majority of state houses of assembly must agree to the adoption of convention before laws like the EFCC Act and others can be passed, which their claim was never done, and therefore argued that any institution established under such circumstances should be considered illegal. Move on to Ekiti State, where Governor Bayodun Oyebanji has approved the release of the sum of 1 billion naira for gratuity to state pensioners. Similarly, the governor has also approved payment of 2 months' pension arrears to local government pensioners. This is coming barely a month after the governor distributed a total of 3.5 billion naira in gratuity checks to retirees in the state, in a bold effort aimed at offsetting the backlog of outstanding gratuities. Additionally, Governor Oyebanji has approved payment of 2 months outstanding subvention to Ekiti State University Ado Ekiti and 1 month outstanding subvention each to Ekiti State University Teaching Hospital, EXUTH. Also, Bamidele Olomilu University of Education, Science and Technology, Ikere Ekiti, and College of Health, Science and Technology, Ijeru Ekiti. A statement signed by Special Advisor to Media to the Governor, Yinka Oyebode, added that approved for release is 1 month outstanding subvention to the judiciary. The payments are in fulfillment of the governor's promise to prioritize welfare and well-being of workers and retirees and ensure that all outstanding entitlements of workers and pensioners owed by previous administrations are paid to them in line with the continuity and shared prosperity agenda of the administration. The governor urged workers in the state to remain focused on excellent service delivery, assuring them of his administration's commitment to their welfare and as well as their payment of all their entitlements. Oyo State government has approved a minimum wage of 80,000 naira for the state workforce. A statement by the Commissioner for Information and Orientation, Dotun Oyelade in Ibadan, the state capital, the technical committee set up by the government recommended and got approval from Governor Seyi Makinde for the implementation of a new salary scale. Oyelade recalled that only last month, a federal government agency, the National Bureau of Statistics, in its latest employment statistics published for 2024, rated the state as the most worker-friendly state in the south of Nigeria, owing to a significant decline in the state unemployment rate, following a series of high-pitched employment of workers into various sectors of the state. The commissioner reiterated that the government had paid the backlog of gratuities from 2008 to 2015 for pensioners with an increase in gratuity payments for them at both the local government pensions board and those paid by the Ministry of Establishment and Training. He said the governor also put back into the payroll pensioners whose names were removed by the immediate past administration and giving all pensioners annual Christmas and New Year chicken bonuses. Osun State Governor Ademola Adeleke has declared a 3-day mourning period in the state, beginning on Thursday, in honor of the late Chief of Army Staff Lieutenant General Taoreed Lagbaja. The death of Lagbaja, an indigene of Lobu, Osun State, was announced in an ex-post on Tuesday by the president's spokesperson, Bayo Onanuga. Adeleke also directed that flags be flown at half-mast in the state during the 3-day mourning period, while in press release signed and released by the State Commissioner for Information and Public Enlightenment, Mr. Kolakbo Alimi in Oshobo, said condolence registers had been opened at the government house and the governor's office for public to convey condolence messages to the people of Osun State. The statement described Lagbaja's death as devastating, a colossal loss to humanity and the nation, adding that the government is saddened by the irreparable loss of one of the glories of Osun State, and particularly condole with the Lagbaja family of Lobu and Lobu of Lobu and everyone. Do not forget that we are open for adverts, placements, news and events coverage, personality, society and political interviews, products, service promotions and commercials. You can connect with us on our ATN socials, Facebook and YouTube, Atlantic Television Network, Instagram and TikTok, Atlantic TV Network 1, and on Twitter, it still remains Atlantic TV Net. On our website, www.atlanticnetwork.tv. To the rest of the news, ahead of the November 16th Ondo governorship election, the Independent National Electoral Commission has confirmed sensitive election materials will arrive in Akure by Tuesday, November 12th. Addressing stakeholders at the pre-election meeting held in Akure, INEC Chairman Professor Mahmoud Yakubu said, all sensitive materials, including ballots and result sheets, will be delivered to the Central Bank of Nigeria's Akure branch by early next week. According to Yakubu, the election materials will be inspected by political party representatives and other stakeholders to ensure transparency before being distributed to local governments and wards across the state. He stressed that INEC is committed to a well-organized and credible election process, as well as all logistical arrangements for the safe delivery and distribution of materials have been completed. INEC has also engaged security agencies to protect the sensitive materials and personnel involved in the election process after including a mock accreditation of its bimodal voter accreditation system in select locations across Ondo State. Yakubu assured the public that INEC is ready to conduct a free, fair, secure, and transparent election. 38-year-old suspect Peter Samuel has confessed to the killing of an Okada rider, Rafiu Akao, at Okeoyo, Oyi town in Ilorin East local government area of Kwara State. The incident occurred at Osunleri area of the town, while in an interview with journalists after the suspect was paraded alongside 4 others involved in the incident by the State Police Commissioner, Victor Alaya. Peter Samuel said he used cutlass to cut the head of the Okada driver in an attempt to snatch the new motorcycle bought by the deceased. Exhibits recovered included one Android phone and a motorcycle. Speaking on the tragic incident, the police commissioner said a report was received from the residents of Asunleri community, Okeoyi, Ilorin and Kwara State, that 3 men, namely Abdurrashid Olashewu, Ismaila Mohammed, and others arrived at Okeoyi Police Division to report the discovery of a headless body lying near the stream within the area. And upon receiving the report, detectives were swiftly dispatched to the scene. Photographic evidence was captured revealing a significant mark of violence around the neck, indicating that the head was severed. He also said the body was subsequently evacuated and deposited at the University of Ilorin Teaching Hospital morgue, pending an autopsy, and also revealed that the deceased's phone was also found on him. We are open for advert placements, news and events coverage, personality, society and political interviews, products, service, promotion and commercials. Connect with us on our ATN socials, Facebook and YouTube, Atlantic Television Network, Instagram and TikTok, Atlantic TV Network 1. On Twitter, it still remains Atlantic TV Net, and on our website, www.atlanticnetwork.tv. Do not forget that you're watching Government and Public Service on Atlantic Television Network. We'll be back after this short break. Don't go nowhere. welcome back to Government and Public Service Reports. Now to the rest of our stories. Nigerian Police Force of Sokoto State Command has confirmed the presence of an armed Islamic group called Lakarawas in about 5 local government areas of the state. The spokesperson of the command, Ahmed Rafiu, said the group is armed with sophisticated weapons and had been operating in Gudu, Tangaza, Binji, Ilela, and one other local government area to impose its belief on the populace. While the Sokoto state government had earlier expressed concern over the emergence of another criminal group in the state, the Deputy Governor, Alhaji Idris Mohammed Gobar, who disclosed this while receiving participants of Course 33 of the National Defense College, Abuja, who were on a study tour in the state, said the group was known to be faith-based idealists, and the sad development was happening at the time when the state was being faced with banditry. The Deputy Governor also said as the threat was expanding, security authorities were working assiduously to address the emerging threat, while the state government has been working closely with federal security agencies to address numerous security threats to lives and properties of the people in the state. While enumerating various efforts being made by the government to confront security challenges, he expressed hope that the study tour would provide the required insights into the nature of the unfolding criminal activities and prefer solutions that would guarantee the security of lives and peaceful coexistence amongst people. Still in the FCT, customary court in Dutse, Abuja, has appealed to the Nigerian Bar Association to facilitate the renovation of its court complex, which was damaged by vandalism and arson during the 2020 NSAS protests. The president of the court, Aderinto Adesoji, made the appeal during a resumed hearing in the divorce case between petitioner Chi Wendu Wadi and her husband, Emeka Wadi, in Ushafa, Abuja, adding that the Dutse customary court has been using the court complex of a sister court in Ushafa for its sittings following the destruction of its facilities in 2020. The Ushafa Customary Court, which owns the facility, holds sittings on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, while the Dutse Court holds the sittings on Tuesdays and Thursdays, adding that Dutse and Ushafa are communities within Buhari Area Council in the nation's capital, located approximately 16 kilometers apart. Addressing the lawyers in the divorce case who were struggling to agree on a date for the next hearing, the president of the court noted that scheduling conflicts is a recurrent challenge in the cases before the court. According to him, the limited availability of sittings only twice a week has severely impacted the timely dispensation of justice, stressing that many cases before the court involve family matters. Federal Capital Territory Administration says revenues raised through taxes is enough for FCT infrastructure and many other social amenities. FCT Minister Yesonezi Wike confirmed the development during an inspection of the 11.10 kilometers road at Kuje Highway and Kuje Wagalada Road.
It's a matter of strategy, and it's a matter of being prudent in this available resources. No government, no institution can say they will have all the required resources to be able to carry out every service or services. What is important to us is that, yes, we try to make sure people pay their taxes. One thing I can tell you about people or Nigerians is that when they see that the taxes they pay are being utilized, they reciprocate by making sure they pay their taxes. But when they see that the taxes they pay and they are saying nothing about what we're done with it, they are reluctant to pay. We are trying as much as we can to continue to increase our IGR. It is our IGR that we are using to pay. There's no other any money coming from anywhere. And again, we restrict on the number of projects and make sure that we have gone far before awarding other projects. And again, that the funding is available so that it will not be an abandoned project or projects. So it's not that we have so much money, it's just that we're trying to prudently manage what we have and apply it to the best for the best interest of our people.
Wike also expressed satisfaction on the work of the contractors handling the two road projects and appealed to Kuje residents to remain patient.
As we came in from the airport to the Kuje community, you can see the work is going on very well as expected by Arab contractors. And they are promised by the end of this year, 2024, they will have finished everything pertaining to earthwork. Even though on some sections of the road, they've put in a macadam before they will apply the binding and wearing course. So you can see the work is moving up very, very in a fast, the fastest we think we should have. And then we're now in the Kuje, where you have they call it the garage road or whatever, but the dualization. We believe that by this December, the contractor, the Gilmore Engineering, would have handed over latest by the end of this December. So as promised. Nobody was working on this road, nobody saw. And as the president talk said, this one that they need hope. All of you have lost hope on this road before, you know. But your hope has come back, isn't it? So all I pray is we should continue to support the contractors so that before the end of this year, we will have commissioned this road.
Senate Committee on Marine Transport has declared the postponement of a scheduled public hearing on the Nigerian Coast Guard bill indefinitely. Originally, the bill was set for November 7th, and the session was slated to take place at the National Assembly Library and Resource Center. It was to have key stakeholders in attendance to address pressing issues in Nigeria's maritime sector. The bill, sponsored by Senator Wasiu Esiokun, representing APC in Lagos, has the overriding intent to enact legislation that sought to contribute to the country's security with a special focus on the country's maritime interest and regional coastal security, as well as to ensure adherence to global norms and standards as they relate to maritime security. A statement issued by the committee clerk, Daud Abukar, on Thursday cited the recent passing of the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Taoreed Lagbaja, as a primary reason for the delay. Lagbaja died on Tuesday night at the age of 56 in Lagos. This marks the second postponement of the hearing, which was previously scheduled for Wednesday, November 5th. The House of Representatives has expressed readiness in a different story to engage tax experts to brief it on the implications of the tax reform bills currently before the National Assembly for consideration. The deputy spokesman of the House, Mr. Philip Agbese in Abuja, expressed the readiness of the House to interface with Nigerians on the issue in town hall engagements. This comes after the Federal Executive Council recently introduced 4 executive bills aimed at streamlining the tax processes, establishing a unified revenue service, and simplifying financial obligations for businesses and citizens, adding that the reforms resulted from a month-long review of existing laws of tax by Taiwo Oyedele-led committee inaugurated in August 2023. The committee's recommendations were harmonized into 4 executive bills, which were transmitted to the National Assembly in September 2024. While the 36 state governors called for the withdrawal of the bill to allow room for more consultations, and this was sequel to the earlier position by 19 northern state governors who rejected the bill on the ground that it was against the interest of the North and the state governments. Speaking on behalf of his colleagues after the 114th National Economic Council's meeting, presided over by Vice President Kashim Shettima, the Oyo State Governor, Seyi Makinde, said the council members agreed that the bills be withdrawn as some sections of the country were comfortable with some of its contents. A different story, the House of Reps Committee on University Education has warned the management of Nigerian universities against frustrating both undergraduate and postgraduate students over projects, theses, dissertations, and other research-related issues. Chairman House of Committee on University Education Abubakar Hassan Fulata said gave the warning following an allegation that a lecturer at Ahmadu Bello Zaria died of depression due to his inability to complete PhD program after 13 years. The committee, which has visited several federal universities in the last 3 months, was in Abu Zaria this week. Muazu Mohammed Ahmed, a lecturer of the English Language Department of the Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria, died a few months ago due to alleged depression suffered at the hands of his PhD supervisor. According to the allegation, he was admitted for PhD in 2011, and 13 years later, he was unable to complete the study. Fulata told Professor Kabiru Bala, Vice-Chancellor Abu Zaria, that the management of the school should ensure that supervisors assigned to supervise both undergraduate and postgraduate students' research work do not harass, intimidate, and frustrate them, and also appealed to the management of other universities in the country to ensure that students graduate at the appropriate time. Fulata also said several federal universities committee visited do not comply with federal character principles with respect to recruitment and urged Federal University of Health Sciences and Azare, Bauchi State, Federal University of Dutsin Ma, Katsina State, and other new universities to ensure that they comply with federal character principles in recruitment. Following the appointment of a new minister, the federal government plans to create 2.5 million jobs through the Ministry of Labour Employment Enhancement Program to provide Nigerians' workforce with the essential tools and opportunities to succeed in a digital era aimed at ending poverty as well as growing the economy. The 2.5 million jobs encompass digital skills initiatives, programs for vocational entrepreneurship skills, and upgrades to infrastructure and enhancements to NELEX for accelerating employment, encouraging development partners such as the World Bank, GIZ, as well as European Union, UNIDO, and Bank of Industry to back efforts. Joseph Moses Mawinka completes the report.
Some weeks ago, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu sacked ministers of his cabinet, replacing them with another. Ministry of Labour and Employment, which has been without overseeing minister, received new minister on 5th November 2024. The oldest ministry is concerned with the relations between workers and employers, saddled with responsibility of serving and creating jobs for the citizens of Nigeria, and therefore Nigerians expect more from the new minister for job creation and training on skill acquisition in fulfillment of 2.5 million jobs.
Labour Ministry is the oldest ministry in the country, and its mandate cut across many areas, including employment generation through skills, acquisition and employment, women and youth, labour standards, productivity, measurement, occupational safety and health, social security and cooperative trade union, and industrial relations, conflict resolutions among stakeholders in labour sectors, etc. The Labour Ministry, apart from the headquarters, has offices in the 36 states and 6 geopolitical zones in the country. The ministry has developed labour employment empowerment program called LEAP as part of the renewed hope agenda of this administration to create at least 2.5 million jobs for the women and youth. The program will be formally launched by the President anytime from now. The renewed hope agenda of Mr. President is bring to bear, where we decided to enter into a covenant relationship with Nigeria, where Labour Ministry will be a brand new Labour Ministry.
I want to assure you that I'm here to work with you. With your support and cooperation, we are going to move this ministry forward. The major schedule of this ministry is to ensure harmonious working relationship between workers and employers of government and private organizations. From what I have seen here, I believe we are equal to the task. I want to assure Nigerians that we are going to continue to ensure that peace is maintained in every nook and corner of this country as far as labor matters are concerned. What is important is for us to carry everybody along, to try as much as possible to listen to all labor organizations, to all labor issues, so that together we try to solve and resolve all issues that are outstanding. Together, we try to resolve all issues, not only resolving issues, try to enhance the welfare, the well-being, and the support and cooperation of all workers in this country. We have the capacity, we have the determination. Mr. President is committed to ensuring that every worker is very happy, and we are going to ensure that our workers across the board are carried along and are made to support the present administration.
The minister promises to work tirelessly while serving Nigerians and attending the obligation of the ministry. However, the minister needs to know that unemployment rate stood at 5.3% in the first quarter of 2024, and therefore unemployed Nigerians today wants actions and realities of his work, than promises that will not yield results. Joseph Moses, Atlantic Television Network News, Abuja.
Federal government has commenced the recruitment of 819 young Nigerians to be trained as tractor operators and mechanics to boost mechanized farming and guarantee food security in the country. A statement by the Permanent Secretary of the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security, Temitope Fash Demi, at a two-day workshop to draft the National Agricultural Mechanization Policy in Abuja, and represented by the ministry's Director of Planning and Policy Coordination, Ibrahim Taminu, lamented that despite procuring more than 30,000 agricultural machinery over the years, Nigeria is presently left with less than 5,000 functioning tractors. He also praised the President, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, for engaging agricultural equipment manufacturers such as John Deere, Belarus Tractors, and Green Imperative Program to supply an additional 32,500 tractors in the next 5 years. He added that the move had prompted the ministry to consider training 819 tractor operators and mechanics to their centers in Akure and Misau, respectively. Earlier in his address, the director of the Federal Department of Rural Development, Frank Kudla, backed the review of the agricultural mechanization policy, which he described as an outcome of extensive research and consultations, and reiterated that for agriculture to remain the backbone of the nation's economy, it was important. He also said the draft policy is the result of extensive research and consultations and addresses critical areas such as access to machinery, training, finance, and sustainable practices to pave way for a vibrant, mechanized agricultural sector in Nigeria. In the meantime, Defense Headquarters says troops of Operation Delta Safe destroyed about 216 illegal refining sites across the Niger Delta region in October. The Director of Defense, Media Operations, Major General Edward Buba, who disclosed this while speaking briefly to newsmen on operations of the military in Abuja, said the troops who destroyed 195 wooden boats, as well as recovered 30 vehicles and 429 assorted ammunition during the period. He said the troops impounded 3.2 million liters of crude oil, 763,860 liters of automated gas oil, and 12,000 liters of premium motor spirit. Adding that the operations had increased progressively the nation's crude oil production to over 1.5 million barrels per day. Buba also said troops of Operation Udo KA in the southeast conducted offensive operation. The SG had various government initiatives, including the NHYPPADEC vocational training program, which he described as life-changing and aimed at benefiting 5,000 participants across the 6 pioneer states. He said the program had its grand launch in Minna, Niger State, last Saturday with the distribution of 365 startup kits to graduates, followed by a similar distribution in Jos, Plateau State on Tuesday this week. And he urged NHYPPADEC to intensify its efforts in lifting the nation out of poverty and empowering the youth, which would contribute to a stronger nation. The state governor, Hyacinth Alia, also praised the federal government's initiative, which he said is designed to take youths off the streets. Represented by his deputy governor, Sam Ode, he encouraged beneficiaries to make good use of the kits. In his address,